occurred in various colonies and a rise of totalitarian regimes, such as Nazi Germany and the USSR, and the conflict between communism versus capitalism in further detail too. So let's start off with the USSR, because there is a lot of interesting history behind the Soviet Union that doesn't get covered too much outside of Russia, which I feel should be changed. But nonetheless, I'm going to go over some of the important events that you should be aware of when it comes to the USSR. So we talked about how after, or just before World War I ended in 1917, you had a revolution in Russia. And you actually had multiple revolutions in Russia. So there was initially, in February of 1917, you had a uprising in general among the various sectors of Imperial Russia. And this led to the Russian Tsar, otherwise known as the King, Tsar Nicholas, basically ceding most of his power to a council of governors, a legislative body that governed the entire country. However, in October, when Vladimir Lenin is transported back from exile in Germany via railroad to Russia, he's going to create and lead the October Revolution, otherwise known as the Bolshevik Revolution. And this is going to usher in the formation of the Soviet Union, as the Bolsheviks basically overthrow the imperial government, and they storm the Winter Palace, which is one of the important residencies of the Russian Tsar. Now, it's important to note here, the Bolsheviks did, in many cases, represent parts of the working class. And we talked about this in relation to Marxism and the communist ideologies that Bolsheviks supported. But what's also important to note here is that Bolsheviks were not the only group of people who were popular after the Bolshevik Revolution. So after the Bolshevik Revolution, you now had a more or less a legislative government where there were still different political parties, aside from the Bolsheviks, that were in a legislative body.